Howdy, nerds! So, are you ready for some rampant speculation? I hope you are. Alright, so, as always, I'm just going to say this real quick, and I hope you guys have some fun with it, but maybe talk to me about it in the comments as well. So, in case you are trying to skip, this banner, and maybe you weren't really interested in this one, and you're aiming for legendaries, because legendary banners, at least the next upcoming one, is going to have Christmas units, which are some of the more insane when it comes to not only skills, but also stats. Well, I do want to mention one thing, because I don't know if you guys are against it. I know a lot of you now have become accustomed to the fact that legendary banners, at least up until this point, have been characters that have been remixed versions or, reiterations, alts, whatever you want to call them, of, characters we all love and enjoy. Last, of course, was Lynn, before then was Robin, but I do have to ask you if you would be against, original characters when it comes to this, because, well, I'm just going to say this, I have a strong feeling that we're going to be getting certain characters from the story, mostly those related to Fjorm, as legendary heroes pretty soon, or at least somewhere along the line. Because, I don't know if you remember this or not, but this is technically, we're in Book 1, this is the intermission, the Rite of Blades, and technically, I guess you can say that Gunthra was actually the first one to show up when it came to the siblings of Nifl. Fjorm shows up physically a little bit later into Book 2, but Gunthra actually shows up to talk to you during the intermission to unlock the refinery, which was a little bit of an interesting one, but she's here to, you can obviously see that they had her art ready and everything was set to go. You can see it's obscured, of course, but it is there. I mean, you can get the basic idea. So while we're talking about this, I'm just going to say, so let's take a look at the two siblings that we do have right now. And I'm expecting that this pattern will continue as we go along because, well, from what we can tell, there are 4 siblings. And of course, we have Fjorm, and as you can see, we also have Gunthra. And you can easily tell that the art there is pretty much exactly what it was in the final version of her. She did end up showing up there. So, of course, Fjorm ended up being a lance unit. She's blue, of course. And then Gunthra ended up being a green tome unit. So we have 2 colors of the color triangle, or I guess at least within that whole spectrum there. The thing I'm trying to say here is I really expect, since they've gone through such a long process of at least making this happen, we're going to have to talk about it, of course, but let's just talk about the obvious character that I'm expecting to make a return as a legendary character. And we've already learned from Gunthra that technically death does not stop. Gunthra is going to be coming back, even though technically, which, by the way, spoilers, I'm sure not many really care, but if you do care, go do the story. Gunthra's dead, obviously. She died. She might come back, who knows. Story, lines, writing, all that fun stuff. But I'm, of course, talking about our littlest character from the Fjorm family of Nifl. I'm talking, of course, about Ilger. And Ilger, it's a strange thing is that in the data she has a description. She, of course, has her name. And she also has several pieces of art, but none of them are the typical type of art that comes with a lot of what happens with the characters. I guess you could say the same sort of thing happened with Gunthra. Gunthra technically just got this art when she was revealed. Before she ever became a legendary hero, she just showed up as this, blurred out image. And technically, we could have the same thing. And I honestly expect that since they've gone through and already technically added her to the data, given her a description, they'll probably expand upon that a little bit later. And I really expect her to be a character that will be a legendary banner. And I know a lot of you might be like, well, what happens in the story? I know a lot of you are probably like, what if she's not real? The one that we currently have in the party may very well be Loki, or she may possess some sort of mental ability similar to what Gunthra is doing here. Because technically Gunthra in this cutscene here is talking to us through our dreams. As she says, she was talking to us through slumber, and she was connecting to us from that. And that's the only reason we really knew that Gunthra even existed. So the question then becomes, what exactly is Ilger, and what exactly would she be? Well, you know, you may notice that she has a bag there, and it could technically be a tome, but I honestly expect Ilger to be the colorless character. I expect all of Fjorm's family, all of the, you know, I just like that saying, Fjorm's family, but all of her family to be a different color of the triangle. It just kind of makes sense. Technically, I expect her to be a staff unit. That's just what I'm hoping for, because it makes sense. She's a little girl. I expect her to be more of a healer than an actual fighter, but who knows? We all know that death can't stop it, and even if Ilger does not actually exist, and perhaps that Loki is, in fact, you know, pretending to be it, I honestly expect to see Ilger at Surtur's castle, the real one, because it seemed very odd how that all came about, with, you know, all of that fun stuff with, you know, Alolan Surtur. Still, there is another sibling that we do need to discuss, and I figured, well, you know what, why not? I'm just going to hop out of this real quick and let this music play while we go through this. Technically, we have a problem because, well, our Takumi's level 1. Oops. But anyways, here's a little bit of another interesting bit. We do know, of course, about Fjorm's only brother, her older brother, and I'm just going to use an artist representation of that because, well, technically we don't know what he looks like, and I'm sure this, you know, will just, it's of course Hrid or Hride. I'm not sure which one would sound better. Huh. You know, it's weird because it's Old Icelandic or Old Norse, depending on which you prefer, and it basically means snowstorm from what I could tell. And I expect him to be a sword unit. These two characters are most likely going to be introduced, or at least, well, we've already seen Ilger. I expect, you know, the brother to be touched upon in the next few stories. We have probably 3 or 4 more chapters to go if we were to go based on book 1. So there's still plenty of time to introduce them and bring them out. But when it comes to a legendary banner, this is what I'm expecting. I'm expecting Ilger will probably be either this month's Legendary Hero or next month's Legendary Hero as we move towards trying to create a, you know, more cohesive story and hopefully make that a little bit further on. I don't know, though. That's just me. What do you guys think? Do you expect it? Would you enjoy having, you know, Ilger come back and actually be a Legendary Hero? I personally would. I would like to see the brother myself, too. It would be fun to have the whole family together. That's just me, though. Now, if you don't mind, I need to go and finish this actual, you know, story, and hopefully not lose anything here. So let's just, yep, wow, Jesus Christ. So, you know, I'll catch you guys on the flip side. See you soon. Hopefully you all have fun, and do tell me in the comments what you think. And as always, feel free, if you want to maybe leave a like as well. Discuss with me, have some fun. It's the weekend, guys. I hope you're having a good one. See you soon.